Okay, first of all, I'm really honored and I'm happy to be here. First of all, because of the young students who organized this tour, and it's my first conference in English here because we were in France and I speak in French. Anyway, I'm happy that I know some people who are among, the public, because there is a very good relation and I'm in different networking. In some conferences, I start to explain the situation, then he gives the solution. So in some others, we decided it's like I have to support his idea. Why, But of course, I'm a part of this one state, one democratic state, one state, laïque, democratic, whatever. And I was among the first organizers. In fact, in Switzerland in 2000, we a group of some good people, Swiss and others, and we were able to organize a conference, and we bring like 150 Israelis and 50 Palestinians, and it was some from the diaspora, others who are academics, others who are activists in the ground, either Israeli or Palestinians, Israeli who born there, others who are settlers, etc. And we have a very good concept paper, but unfortunately, this is what I noticed. With many different groups created in other countries, it's like there is no, it's not continued, it's sad. Maybe we have to put all our efforts together, even if we agreed or disagree with the small issues, because really this project is supposed to be real, and this is why we accept to do this tour. In fact, we need your support. We need your support to not just to support us as speakers, but in fact to lobby your governments, because without that, we are unable to realize it. Why? Because the complicity of the international community. And I'm sorry, we are in Europe now, and the European, it's composed entity which is very important. In the law, we call it third state responsibility. They should really play a positive role in order to end the problem, either the United Nations and the EU. Why I start with this? In fact, the conflict starts, when, of course, the United Nations decided to create the State of Israel under the Resolution 181. I will not go through the history because I'm sure most of you they know, but just to arrive to the level in which we will develop it together. And first of all, okay, it's good it was created, and 56% to create the state, and the other for the Arab state. It was Jewish state and Arab state. This is how it was named. And then, this is what the Palestinians call it Nakba, which is catastrophe, and of course it is catastrophe because really the number of Palestinians who became refugees, who were really forced, really displaced. Some of them they left by their own because they heard there is some massacres happened. And now with the new Israeli historian, we got more even information because, in the time being in 1948, we didn't have this media like now. Everybody had his own camera, etc. So it was really, we need some people who document what's happened in the past. And I just want to remind you that when the war in Lebanon happened in 1982, the first thing, the Israeli occupation, they went really to a center of Palestinian studies, and really they took the archive. So this is very important for them to hide this reality, because the archive contains a lot of really very important information. Okay, after the Nakba, the catastrophe, etc., and here just always I like to link it with something happened in the war, which is the apartheid system started in South Africa, 1948. As well, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights also, it was 1948. So you have to see, in one way there is something really completely negative, and in another way we have this beautiful Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And why I mention that? Because in March I have to give a speech in 7 universities. 4 of them were censored, the speeches. It was about the apartheid in South Africa. What about the apartheid in Israel, Palestine? This was the issue. So just to tell you, and here I remind you that two of the drafters of this beautiful wording of the Universal Declaration, they were Jewish and they were jurists. And here I want to remind you of Stefan Hesse, who was died, and because of him we had this great Russell Tribunal, and the second one, René Casson, and there is a very good institution in Strasbourg, you know, where people study the issue of human rights. So, of course, the world felt really after the creation of the State of Israel and the number of Palestinian refugees who were expelled, and they were in the region like Jordan, Lebanon, Syria. So, of course, it was a condition to let the Palestinian refugees or the people who were displaced or the ones who left by their own to return to their homes, villages of origin. You know, it's not to return in that time, it doesn't exist West Bank, etc. And I hate this wording, and wording became very important now. So it was a condition, and then we see in the 11th of December the resolution 195-94. In fact, it's to give the Palestinian refugees their rights to return to their homes, etc. And it was voted like more than 30 times during, since 1948. It was discussed and approved by the Security Council or by the General Assembly. Not just that, even the right of self-determination, you know, it was also approved, I don't know how many times, just to tell you this complicity by the UN, the international community. You know, we give you one right in one side, but we close our eyes when it comes to the rise of this colonial state, which is called Israel, created by this international community. Here I have to tell you something. Not many people know that two-thirds of the Palestinian population are refugees. Two-thirds, really. Can you imagine that? And do you know that the third of the refugees of the war, the third, are Palestinian? Even after the war in Syria and the number of Palestinians who left, you know, Syria or Lebanon or whatever, it's like almost the third of the refugees are Palestinians. And what's specific of Palestinian refugees? It's the only refugee in the world who have no right to return, who have no right to go back and to get back, you know, what's his family, or to go to the house of his parents or grandparents' origin. You know, they have no rights. Yeah. So this is the specific. In one way, I said when it was really created, the State of Israel, it was in one part, as I said, like to close the eyes or to leave the Palestinians alone, you know, to try to get some rights. So Jeff, he is keeping criticizing international law, etc. I'm happy that I'm not in the UN entity, otherwise I don't dare. I have to defend, of course, international law and human rights law, because it's the place where we have to remind this community that it's not us as a Palestinian who write international law, but it's these colonial countries. When it comes to occupation, I remember because the lady who presented me, she said, I was in The Hague. Yes, I'm very proud. I'm the only Palestinian female who really submit this report to the ICC. And we worked like more than 2 years to get the recognition of the ICC that Gaza is occupied. Because if you go to the classical definition of occupation, the hostile army should be living inside. But Gaza, if you remember, the Israeli, you know, they left, but it was closed. So it became like a very big prison. So it was really hard work to get this recognition. Just in November 2017, Madame Bensouda, she has this declaration that we recognize Gaza is occupied. Why? Because legally speaking, honestly speaking, to treat a case, people under occupation, it's very much better than a state under occupation. So the international community, they felt bad after the votation, or you know, when they want to create the state of Palestine, which is illusion, let's say illusion, because you can't create a state while you know in the ground it's impossible, you know. First of all, because the settlements exist, not just exist, but the Israelis, they continue also building the settlements, in which I call them colonies, you know. And I want to remind you, because each time the president of the EU declared that they are against, you know, the colonies, then we heard after 1 or 2 weeks, Mr. Netanyahu, he declared or he gave the agreement to rebuild more and more settlements. So you understand, in one way it's like really, we declare it, but we don't care what's happened after that. And now the situation de facto in the ground, it became really completely unbelievable that the people who really keeping telling two-state solution is the only, you know, because they don't want to see the reality. Because I lobby a lot in the EU. When I discuss with them, and not any closed rooms, you know, outside the rooms or in the corridor, they agree totally. Especially if they have been in the region, if they visit and they saw the real situation in the ground, they agree totally that it's something really not normal, that they are keeping telling, yes, two-state solution. We are in favor of two-state solution. In March, I was in the EU, and I asked to be received by the Committee of Human Rights, and they agreed, which was composed by different, you know, entity. It doesn't mean the people who are supporting Palestine, you know, some of them from right wings, others, etc. But the background of them are legal, so I can speak with them really legal language in which they understand very well. And then when I told them, because we are keeping reporting the violations committed by the Palestinian Authority against the Palestinians. Sometimes in the UN, I don't like to speak, you know, openly when it comes to these violations. So always I ask to be received, you know, like privately, and then I express the situation when they kidnap some students or some who are tortured. Unfortunately, this has happened. And I think if we need the population, I mean, the people like you to support us, it's okay to end occupation. Some people said, yeah, let's finish occupation, then we will deal with the other issue. No, I'm sorry. It's the same like freedom. Freedom, it doesn't mean I have to end occupation, then I give the woman her rights. No, it should be really, all the institutions should work together. So this is why when I speak with this committee, then I told them, you are keeping, defending, and helping and financing this Palestinian Authority. Now you have a partner, but one day when the population became against this Palestinian Authority, you will have no partner. Then it will be a cow. And this is why people supported Hamas. I have friends who are Christian, who are leftists in the OPT, and they told me, we vote in favor of Hamas. Okay, I know it's stupid. We don't have a third alternative. This is what I'm keeping telling the Europeans or the others, or even the UN. I say one day, you will find yourself without any partner. What to do? Then she asked me, the lady who are the president of this Committee of Human Rights, she said, so what's the other alternative? Then I said, one-state solution. And she said, what do you mean? Then I start just to laugh. Then I told her, I'm ready to organize a panel in the EU. I said, no. Oh, I disagree, because we are supporting two-state solution. So in fact, how we can change this mentality, you know, they put in their hand two-state solution, even the PA, you know, when I discuss with some good people who work with the PA, they know that in the reality this is a fake issue. But it's like, yeah, no, the international community wants that, so we have to support that. So just, you know, I give you this example to explain how much the complicity, you know, keeping really going, and this is why the suffering of the Palestinians continue. Otherwise, how it comes, all these wars against Gaza, and nothing changed. Absolutely. The borders closed, the people more and more suffering. What do you want more than the report of the UNDP, which means that Gaza by 2020, it's not a place where people can live normally, you know? So it's a shame. It's not just a shame for the international community, but it's a shame, like we as Palestinians, we still really did something in order to change this reality. I will tell you why. The people who work with the PA, they are under obligation to defend this PA. Why? Because their salary. You know, this is the problem. And the situation now, the Palestinians are not as independent as they used to be before the creation of the Palestinian Authority, honestly speaking. Because I left Palestine in 81, you know. We were able not to buy Israeli products, and in that time it doesn't exist, the movement BDS. It's new, the movement BDS, the chart was in 2005, just, you know. And always, of course, I call people to use this method. I mean, when you go to do your shopping, you should be intelligent. You should not really buy even I'm not really just bringing the issue of Israeli product. Why you should buy products come from very far? Why you don't buy products comes from your country or the closer country? So this is how we approach some people who are not really very much politicized. So when it comes to Israeli product, then we could go really more further. And this is also another complicity of the European Union, because we work hard, the margarine was here. When it comes, and they said, yeah, now we decided the policy of labeling to write, this product comes from occupied territory, and this product comes from Israel. But according to international law, the EU against the settlement. So everything based on the settlement should be illegal. It's right or not? So why we do this, you know? So just to give you some examples, how much it's became hard for us, really. And also, I saw in most of the conferences we given, the people have gray hair. I'm not against gray hair, I love gray hair. But what I want to say by that, like, these people were involved and supporting Palestinians since long time. You know, they are tired, and we are as a Palestinian tired. Don't you think that we are looking for better future for the generations, for the youngs, and just keeping criticizing that most of the young Palestinians are not involved, especially the ones who are educated or they have really the chance to live in European countries or somewhere else. Okay, I don't give them excuses, but I said, you know, Jeff, we are tired. We are tired, you know, it's since 71 years, you know. It's not easy for generation after generation, but it doesn't mean that we have to give up. Because always I said, the colonization of Algeria was 130 years, but now Algeria has become like, let's say, independent country, whatever there is problem. And since my mother is older than the occupation, I said, there is still people who could work more and more hard in order to have freedom. This is one of the things, this is one of the reasons why I believe that one democratic state, we call it laïque because all people could really practice their religions. And this is why when the resolution 181, you know, the creation of the state of Israel, they put Jerusalem like, they call it corpus separatum. In law, it's like a body, we should not separate it, that people could practice their religion. For me, it's a colonial project as well, because which nationality you will give the people who live in Jerusalem. Also, I think you heard, daily we heard about houses which have been demolished by the Israeli. Why? Because we should keep majority Jewish living in the city than Arabs. And of course, after 67, Jerusalem annexed, and it became the whole entity under the Israeli control. So all these issues that I mentioned, I think this is the reason why we as activists, we as human rights defenders, we as a human being, we should try to find and to build and to defend this issue which is called one-state solution. Democratic, laïque, whatever, foundation, you know. It could be, it's not illusion, it's real when we bring the issue of equal rights. Why not? Why not my daughter to be in love with her neighbor? Whatever his name is, Hanoch, Jacob. No, I mean, don't think that this is a dream. When Herzl held his conference in Basel in 1897, everybody said he's crazy or a dreamer. Why he has the right really to realize his dream, and when we dream for something based on rights, we doesn't have the right. Why? So this is why we need your help. We need you really to think with us, and we need any question, of course, you raise. It's mean to push us to look for more and more that this idea became real. We want people to believe about it, and not just Palestinian and Israeli, because we need your help. We need your help when you speak with your parliamentarians, because you are the one who vote in their favor. And I remember that I think Netherlands who won the Eurovision, it's right or not? Congratulations. And the Eurovision was based in a village which is called the Sheikh Mu'nis. It's also occupied territory, And this is a postcard. We prepared it in Switzerland, and we send it to the TV. We sent like 1,000 in order not to screen this. Okay, it's just to inform, to educate people. So this is one of the aim of our tour, in fact, to explain to people why one democratic state, it's became now more and more really possible, because the situation push us to believe more about. I know some people who in the past, they think no, and I think Jeff was in favor of two-state in the past, no? Yeah, you see. So at the end, if we don't think together, no, it's a noble, yes, but now if we don't, both of us put our efforts together, then I think we are more concerned than the others. We need your support, but we are the one who have to put really a document, a paper, or something, a base that we could discuss it. Why the international community have to oblige us or to bring one issue which is not which is not possible to realize it in the ground? And I'm here talking about two-state solution, although they know with the land confiscation, with the daily house demolitions, with the torture of the colonies. Before 2 days, they just fired I don't know, it was a wheat farm or something, and then the fire went to the colonies near Hebron or near Nablus. So this is really sad. Don't think that this is easy for the Palestinians. It's a daily suffering. It's a daily torture. It's a daily when they have to pass through the checkpoints. Yesterday I saw a video of women's mothers. They supplied the Israeli army to open the gate in order for their children to access to their homes. They come back from school. So this is one of the issues that the Israelis created, because the world is changed. 48, when the massacres happened, we doesn't have really a lot of testimony. But now everybody knew what's happening, because of camera, because of the media, because of many other factors. So now the Israelis create another way how to push people to leave, which is, we can call it coercive environment. Like when they build the wall, and the wall, according to ICJ, it's illegal, should be dismantled. Who cares? They continue building the walls. And now the Palestinians, instead of fighting the wall as a whole entity, they are fighting that they should open a door here because of our kids to go to school, or another door here because the clinic or the hospital in the other side. So unfortunately, we became more and more far with the root cause of the issue. It's not just end occupation, my God. It's not just to give rise to people. The whole issue should be changed in the ground. So this is why we are here, and we are ready to hear any question and to answer as well. Thank you very much.